All right. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Oh man, a little late. I apologize for being a couple minutes late. I got 1 minute, so I'm not that late. Good evening, guys. I know you're probably watching the Democratic convention, but if you needed a little something, if you're not, welcome to Unapologetically Keith. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, where we discuss a little bit of everything. The things that create crisis for other individuals, because this is what I do. I am Keith K.L. Belvin, crisis specialist. It is my job, it is my focus, it is my ministry to try to help those that are in need. And so I use this show as a way to have conversations about subjects that I think create crisis in the lives of other people. So welcome. And I am so happy to whoever joins us tonight. And we are no longer streaming on multiple platforms. We are now streaming right here from the group. And the reason why is because I just felt that it was the best place to be able to reach people and not have to fight with the Facebook algorithm, as they say. And tonight we are talking about when to cut family loose. So yes, and of course, like it does on every episode, it goes down in the chat room when people show up. That's the other part of what we got going on here. So every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9:30 to 10:30. Well, really 10 o'clock, but I stay on to 10:30 because I enjoy talking to the folks here. But depending on how things are moving, I will shut it down at 10 o'clock and go on about my business if need be. Because, every night can't be a superstar night. Let me see what I got going on here. What we got going on here? Okay, there we go. All right. And so first, I want to say thank you to all you guys who have joined in the past week or so. Hey, Michelle, how we doing? Great to see you. I want to say thank you to all you guys who have joined in this past week or so. I think we're over 60-something members, whatever. So I'm glad you guys have tuned in to check out the show. And I definitely appreciate the comments that go down each week. Michelle, how are you doing this evening? So I really came to hang out tonight. Hey, Tony. How we doing tonight? So one of the things that I want to look at when we talk about cutting family loose, I know that sounds harsh. I know. But one of the things that we have to remember is that, yes, we must love our family. I got that. And yes, we must be there for family. But there's also something that people forget. Is that you got to take care of you first. You have to make sure that you're okay. You have to make sure that the things that are going on in your life are where they should be. Now, that does not mean that we do not serve. It does not mean that we do not give. We do. Simply because for those of us that follow Scripture, we know that life is about service. Let me just see what's going on here. Let me tighten this up here. There we go. Okay. There it is. And I'm not telling anyone not to serve, and I'm not telling anyone to not take care of family, but I'm saying that often we will put ourselves to the side trying to be the end all, the be all to family. And you can't do that. And the reason why you can't do that is because sometimes you have family members who are toxic, who have gotten themselves to a point where dealing with them means that you're going to become toxic as well. And I know that is sad, and I know that's very difficult to deal with, but we all make choices. And sometimes we have to look at family members and we have to look at their choices and say, I'm not rocking with that. And I'm not going in that direction. And you have to be willing to let them go simply to be able to protect your own peace of mind. And often we don't look at family, we don't gauge family, and dare I say, we don't judge family through the same lenses that we use for everybody else. And some people say, well, you're not supposed to, they're family. Hold on. I simply look at a family member's history. I look at a family member's present. I look at what's going on in their home, or what's going on with their finances, and a lot of other things. And then I'll make a decision on if I need to throw money into that bottomless pit, or whatever the situation is. And it's not easy, because often people will expect certain things to be given to them or be allotted to them simply because they're family. And this is where we have to draw the line. And Michelle, Tony, what's your thoughts on where that is with family? Because my line is a short one. I'm not even gonna lie, because I just feel just because we're family don't mean that you don't earn some of the things that I do. Now, I may not question everything like I would somebody else, but I'm hard on family, because family will take worse advantage of you than people you don't know. I've seen that happen. I don't know if my... Hey, put a 1 in the chat room if you guys can hear me, because I have no idea why my computer seems to be running slow. I reset it and everything. I'm not sure what's going on. Put a 1 in the chat room if you guys can hear me, if I'm coming through clear. It says that I am, but I'm not sure. I don't know if you guys can hear me tonight. Let's see, audio. Okay, the video is going in and out because it just said, okay, so now it's clear. It was just at 0 a minute ago. Okay, it's back down to 0. Okay. All right. Okay, there seems to be something wrong with the connection. Okay. I'm going to have to log out, and we're going to have to try this again, because it seems to be something wrong. Okay, let's see. We got, oh, can you guys hear me? Oh, here we go. I'm sorry. Tony's here. T to the Y. What's going on, brother? Oh, wow. Sorry to hear that, Tony. I'm just catching up on all the what's name here. My condolences, Tony. This is some crazy times. Had to love my own brother. Okay. I had an issue with my niece who had the nerve to call me and tell me she was understanding her mom before she died. Okay, so Tracy. Okay, so, oh, hey, what's up, Flex? Okay, oh, so you guys, okay, so there it is. I was about to shut it down, and all you guys are here talking. I am so glad I paid attention over here. Okay, so you guys can hear. So let's start this up. Let me go back over again. So we got T to the Y here. Good to see you, brother. Tony is here. Michelle is here. Tracy is here. I saw Flex here. Tony is here. Tony, we got 2 Tonys in the house tonight. We got Flex here. All right, guys, I appreciate you. I'm sorry. My computer has been bugging out, and it's saying that it's having different issues. So just rock with me. I think it's something on my end. I'll catch up. But, yeah, I'm going to be very transparent, as I am all the time. You know, you guys know that my mother passed on June 25th. Okay. It's been like a civil war going on with my sisters. And I'm sorry. I had said way back 7 years ago, hey, Nikki, I had said 7 years ago when my grandmother passed away, that when my mother passed away, I was done, because and I've been like this for a long time, I just don't feel we should allow family to place us in a position, hey, Nikita, to place us in a position where we do ourselves dirty trying to help them. And I see you, I got you, I see you now, I can see you all, and thank you for all being in the chat room, I got you. Hey, Tammy. And the reason why I say that is because what happens is you really start to have family members take advantage of the fact that you won't turn them away, so they dig deeper to try to get things that they need. And this whole thing with my family, I have been the black sheep, I've been the distant one for a reason. I just am not going over a cliff because we're family. I get it, I understand it, but I'm not doing it. And I've seen too many family members where it's like, that's my son, that's my daughter, and they're at ages that they should have figured it out. Children are different. Children are different. And I don't blame children because they didn't come here with a full slate. They're learning as they go along. But when we're talking about adults, now the little civil war that's going on between my sisters, I basically had to sit off to the side. One wanted my help, the other one is whatever. And I'm not losing no sleep not talking to her. I ain't got no problem. And I don't care what other family member has an issue. I ain't never sugarcoated my words, because at the end of the day, if you have put yourself in a position for me not to speak to you, okay. I don't lose no sleep over it. I think we have to stop allowing family to drive us in positions that are negative. We can't allow family to drive us into a position where financially is a problem, emotionally is a problem, sometimes physically is a problem, and sometimes spiritually. Now, is there spiritual reference to letting family go? Yes. Just look at Jacob and Esau. I was telling her, my friend, that she said, well, I need to go where she is because family don't care. She continues to go off like that. I try to stay close to her, but so much go off too much. I got you. And self-preservation, who said that? Tony, yeah, self-preservation. I got you, Nikita. And the reason why is, if you take Jacob and Esau, right? Jacob did Esau dirty, stole his birthright. So all this time he thought Esau hated him and all this other stuff. And when they finally got to it, Jacob thought he was going to get done in by his brother. His brother said, man, I forgave you a long time ago. But what happened? Esau went in one direction, Jacob went in the other. And we tend to forget that. I never said don't love family. Let me say that. I never said don't love family. I am saying you don't have to go over a cliff, because if that's where family's going. Now, if an emergency happens, they need you to be there, be there. But sometimes we got to cut family loose. And even if it means we got to stand all by ourselves. Trust me when I tell you, God will bring you a new family. I know that sounds crazy. Because family, if you look up the definition, there's multiple definitions of family. Often we forget that. And forgive me for not having my notes tonight. I had a emergency counseling call, but I'm going to read to you. Okay, family is defined. Now check this out, guys. All right, I'm going to read this to you. Make sure you have it. Family is defined as a specific group of people that may be made up of partners, children, parents, aunts, uncles, cousins, and grandparents. As an example, a family is a set of parents living with their children. The definition of family is the group of people who share common ancestry. Now, understand something as well. And okay, here's the other one that I wanted to look up. Okay, and this is the kids' definition of family. A social group made up of parents and their children, a group of people who come from the same ancestry. You resemble your mother's side of family. A group of people living together, a household. A group of things sharing certain characteristics, a family of languages. But the key that I want you to look at is a group of people living together. And I think we have to pay attention to that. Oh, let me read the chats here, because I always want to catch up what you guys are talking about in the chats here. Nikita said, I lost my dad a year ago. Yes, I remember. My condolences always. And ever since he left me, it has been pure hell. The only one that is keeping me in this area is my grandfather, and he is in the hospital fighting for his life. If God should call him home, I'm done. And with my dad's side of the family, I can't do it anymore. I'm sorry. Don't be sorry. Speak your truth. Because part of the reason I left New York was not just because I didn't want Kales to go to school, because I was done. I'm not going to go back and forth over this with family and all this stuff. I got a life to live. And with my mother passing, my mother had her own beef. She didn't want me to leave. She wanted to keep her son close, and I understand that. But, Mom, I can't make moves that's going to just make it easier for you. And when she got sick, I would get back and forth up where she needed. Let's see. Michelle says, my brother and I love dearly, but he has lied, stolen, taken advantage of, and we have to deal with self-preservation. Yes, and Tony said it earlier when she said self-preservation. Here's the thing. We have to, sometimes you got to love at a distance. And I learned this from my grandmother. Sometimes you got to love somebody, but let them go. Sometimes you got to love them and say, it is better that you go over there and I'm going to stay here. And if something happened to you, I'll make my way over to you, but you stay over there, because it's just not going to work us in the same space. And again, I want you to just to look at and pay attention to those definitions. A group of people living together. Now, when you have like-minded folks, I remember when I was teaching this in school, and a lot of children, LGBTQ children, would leave home because they did not feel loved or accepted. And they would find new families, and it were like-minded families that of other children who had been kicked out of their homes, and that would become their family. And a lot of these children said that they found greater love in these families than they ever did at home. They've also found the same thing with kids who have been involved in gangs. When asked why do they put up and tolerate the dangers of being in a gang, many of the young men and women said it is because the love that they get from their gang members, gang compadres, was greater than the love that they were getting at home. So we crave love. We crave the attention. We crave to be connected to folks that we can care about. But let me tell you something. When it's time to let certain folks go, you got to let them go. And again, my computer's a little behind, so I got to go back and read if I miss any of the what's name. Okay, there we go. And I wanted to talk about that tonight because sometimes I sit here and I talk to my younger sister. She called me today, actually, and just helping her make sure she does all the things that she needs to take care of in terms of the paperwork and all other stuff like that. Because all you guys who have had to deal with your families, the last things you got to deal with, all the paperwork and other stuff like that, and it's sad what money will cause and things of that nature. But I've always been somewhat distant, because I find that you can't trust the way some people move when they're not being as forthright about themselves. And a lot of people will say they're transparent, but they're not. And then here you're trying to figure out, I should be able to trust you. But I've learned just from the domestic violence shows that we did, that the way people who love you move is as dangerous as strangers. And I'm not saying that everybody in every family is abusive. I'm not saying that. I'm saying is that there is a time when you have to realize that standing alone by yourself is what it has to be. T to the Y said, I guess we learned from generations that blood is thicker than water. However, blood gets thin with all the beef and hostility sometimes. No, I agree. They say blood is thicker than water. That's not necessarily true. Because ask members of a championship team of any sport. Ask men and women who have served in a forward area where their lives was on the line in the hands of somebody else who got them home from that forward area. When I say forward area, that means that they were actually engaged in combat. They have... So Katisha said, y'all all must be wonderful people. People let me go. I'm the toxic one. Maybe that's one way to look at it, Katisha. But we all get let go by somebody. So I don't think you're the toxic one. And if you are, then that's something that you have to work out. You could be. I don't know. I just find that I don't have a problem with being the bad guy. And I know some people have kept their distance from me, and that's okay. I don't mind that. Because I've learned, if I haven't learned anything from Scripture, is that family is not what a lot of people think it is. And you can have new family members, because sometimes the stepfather, stepmother could be more of a mother than your mother ever was, more of a father than your father ever was. Your stepbrother can be more of a brother than your biological brother. Your frat brother can be more of a family member than any family member that you've ever been. And the thing goes on and on. And I think we all have to measure in our lives. Keisha says, my thing with certain family members is I still want to see them eat, just not at my table. I give everyone time to show me who they are. And if it doesn't matter who is toxic, it's toxic, without question. I'm that way too, Keisha. My grandmother taught me. I remember when my cousin Warren, he was into drugs and he was out in the streets and he was just not a good dude. I remember he came to the door. That's when I lived in New York, Jamaica, Queens. He came to the door, knocked on the door, and I came downstairs, and my grandmother was already coming back from the door, and I said, who was at the door? And she said, come here. And she walked me into the kitchen, and she said, don't open that door. And I said, well, who's at the door? She said, it's your cousin Warren. I said, oh, okay, cousin Warren, let me go check him out. She grabbed me and said, I said, don't open that door. I said, but it's cousin Warren. I just want to go speak to him. She said, leave his ass right there. And she went in the kitchen, and I mean, she made a mega plate, a big plate. I mean, she was just piling food on. And she wrapped it up. And you know, one of them hard aluminum foil wrap-ups where you really got to wrap it up or the food going to fall out. And it was a porcelain plate. She ain't no paper plates. My grandmother wasn't the paper plate type. And she even wrapped up a fork and a knife. Not no plastic fork and knife, a metal fork and a knife. Came to the door. She gave Warren the food and gave him $20. And I was standing right there. He said, what's up, cuz? I said, I'm good, Warren. How you been, man? He said, you know how it is out in these streets, little man. I'm like, okay. And he said, so, Aunt Chris, you ain't going to let me inside the house? She said, hell no. She said, take this food, take this money, and go on about your business. He said, it's like that, Aunt Chris? She said, yeah. And he was like, oh, come on now. You ain't gonna let your nephew in? She's like, hell no. So he looked at me and I looked at him like, bro, I can't call it. I ain't trying to get kicked out. And he's like, all right, Aunt Chris, thank you for the money. Thank you for the food. And that was the last time I seen my cousin Warren. And so, of course, now, you know, my grandmother, they got to have a conversation. And I said, what was that? And she said, let me tell you something. I don't care how much he smiled. I don't care how nice he is. You let that man in your house, and after 10, 15 minutes, everything going to be stolen or whatever else. And that's just where he was. And I was like, and I said, but then why'd you feed him and give him money? She said, well, I'd rather give him $20 and something to eat than him be out there trying to rob somebody and steal it from him. If he going to get high, he going to get high. But at least he ain't got to steal that $20. And it took me a while to try to figure out, like, what was that? But I got it over time. And I think in everybody's family, they need to figure out who they are, what they are, and what role you play in your family. And you got to be comfortable. Now, if there's opportunities to repair certain things, yes, repair that. If there's opportunities to repair certain aspects of the relationship, repair it. But never be scared to step off or to let folks go if that's what's necessary. And I say this because I've been thinking about it, and there was a whole lot, not my rules, not my house. Explain that for me, Tracy. Not my rules, not my house. Explain that to me. Because I want to make sure I got it right before I say something. Not my rules, not my house. And I think one of the things that, and why I'm waiting to see what Tracy says so I can make sure I get it right, because I never want to misspeak on something, because you guys be bringing it in the chat room, and y'all have to excuse me. I'm looking at the numbers here, so they go up and down. So I'm kind of have to. And let me just make sure that you can hear me. If you can hear me, put a 1 in the chat room, because again, I think I'm lagging behind. I believe this computer's on his last leg, so I'm working on my get a new computer fund. That's my next major purchase. I'm about to sell my old car. Anybody want a 1998 Volkswagen? We can't become. Yes, that's very true, Tony. We can't, and I think that's that's a great choice of words, codependent, because we have to be careful that because somebody is family, we don't get sucked into where they might be. Okay, Tracy said your grandmother's house. You know what, Tracy? That's what I thought you was referring to. If you knew my grandmother, that statement right there is 100% correct, Tracy. My grandmother, her rules, her house, and I wasn't about to get kicked out because I'd have been heading up the block with Warren with a plate of food and a 20. If my grandmother wasn't playing those games. See, I was raised by my grandmother, and thank you guys for the ones. I can see it. It just means my computer's dragging, but that's okay. I'm just gonna rock out. As long as you guys can hear me, we good money. I'm not worried about it. I'll go back and watch the replay. Like I said, this computer's on its last leg, so I'm going. That's my next mission. I'm saving up to the new computer fund. But yeah, my grandmother wasn't playing those games, and now that I've gotten older, I realize I don't worry how people take what I do. I really don't lose any sleep over it, even so much that it bothers other people. But again, I don't really worry about it. And the reason why I don't worry about it is because you have to make yourself available when you need to be made available. Even Jesus disappeared where the disciples had no idea where he was. And they would be like, where's Jesus? He out. And he praying and he talking to his Father in his own time. And he wasn't telling nobody where he went, and that was what it was. And then he would magically reappear. What's up, guys? Where you come from, Jesus? I was out. I was chilling. And I think we have to understand that when it comes to family, we can't get so connected that, again, when they become toxic, you become toxic. It's also not good for children to see that uneasiness and that unsteadiness. Because children are very perceptive and very vulnerable. And we have to be very mindful of what we expose them to. And again, you ladies have taught me a whole lot from the domestic violence conversations, is that often abuse is hidden in plain sight. And so we have to take that into consideration. You also have to take into consideration is when you have mentally moved yourself to another plateau or in a different direction, and the overall mindset of certain family members is still in a place that you used to be in, light and dark can't occupy the same place. It just has to be that way. And I think, Tony, I think we all need to when it comes to certain family situations. I think we all need time to ourselves. Hell, I think we need time to ourselves in our marriages, in our relationships, not just disappearing for hours, but you need some you time. Tiff has it. Tiff will go out, and I'll joke what I say, where you headed to? And she go, wherever I'm going. And I laugh and be like, okay, when you come back, I'm going to change the locks. And I joke and laugh, but I don't stress because I know she needs to go out and take her time to go do her. I don't go out as much. I'm here in my office. This is where I spend my to-me time. I'm with the baby all day, and I got to work in the evening, and then I do the show on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So when I get off the show at 10:30, that time between, say, 10:30 and 12:30 or 10:30 and 1:30, sometimes 2:30, is me just focusing on me and just taking some time. Everybody is asleep, and it's just me and the dog. And I'm okay with that. I don't need to jump in my car and go for a ride because I'm not trying to interact with police. And since I don't trust the gym, I used to go to the gym. I ain't trusting going to the gym with this whole COVID thing. Hidden in plain sight abuse. Yes, Michelle. And I think all of us have to really gauge that. And so let me ask you this, guys. How have some of you dealt with family members distancing themselves from you, or you having to distance yourself from family members? How did you deal with it? How did some of you guys deal with it? My son and my ex-husband are toxic. I have to limit my communication with them. You have to protect yourself from people sucking the life out of you. Yes, emotional vampires is what they're called, Tracy. And some folks don't know that they're emotional vampires. They're just so used to being the way that they are that they don't realize that they are sucking the life out of everybody around them. Emotional vampires. They show up and literally just suck the life out of a room and then every person in it. And when you're in relationships with these people, it is beyond toxic, because you just can't seem to have a good day. You just can't seem to enjoy yourself. And it's funny because I remember, I think it was House Party 3. I want to say 3, or whichever one that Bernie Mac was in. And he said, I would say it's sunny outside. She's like, might rain. And he's like, you know, it's a nice side. He might choke me with it. Everything. And he kept saying that everything that the person said, they would come up with something negative. And I've seen those type of people. You know, you say, today's a great day. Well, the day ain't over yet. You don't know. Well, it's nice outside. It's too hot. It's too cold. They find something wrong, and those are the glass half empty folks. And if they're in your family, you got to be mindful of that. Now, the real question is, and I think Katisha said it as a joke, how many people here have had their family distance themselves from them? If you want to share that. How many of y'all have been that individual that your family was like, I just can't. You know, I was that person when I was married. When I was married to my ex-wife, my family literally was just like, you know what, we just not bothering with him, because they didn't like my ex-wife. And so I kind of would just not show up because of my connection to her. I had became toxic because of my relationship. I just go home, I live by myself, I pray and be in peace. Not too many people know where I live, and I like that. I got you, Michelle. Tony says, I let people know I'm taking time to restore. I do it twice a year. Since COVID, I have not been able due to uncertainty. I'm with you, Tony. Tony, you know, I'm learning that because COVID really screwed up a lot, because this was the year that I was going to take some time and just take some time off for Tiff and I and the baby, because Tiff and I have not been on vacation since 2008. We have been working every summer. I worked summer school every year up until 2016. And then I moved down here. And then, of course, I've been continue to working and everything, but do what I want when I want. Yeah, there we go. I like yourself. I have a room where I write and read. Yeah. I think everybody needs a part of the house that's theirs. If you can have that in your house, wherever you live at, or even just an area, just somewhere that's yours, just to be able to relax. Like our bedroom, Tiff like has the whole, on Tiff's side, she has like the dresser where the TV is, everything. That's kind of her side. I really don't show up until it's time to go to bed, or we're hanging out in the bedroom. We don't really watch TV in the bedroom together too much. We kind of were watching TV in the living room, and then she kind of floats towards the bedroom to watch what she wants to watch. I really don't watch TV. I'm in here in the office, so this is where I stay most of the time. And then we will watch, sometimes we'll watch a movie in the bedroom, and Kayla will join us. But most of the time we do the family thing in the living room and hang out and watch, lay out and lounge in the living room and watch a movie or something like that. But yeah, I had planned on going on vacation, and this COVID thing just has me really uneasy, because every time I leave to go out into the community, it's like I'm going on a run for the Walking Dead. I just see so many people who just treat this whole COVID thing as a joke, and I don't want to be around them. I don't want to come in contact with this virus because somebody else was just being ignorant. I've lost too many people to know it's not real. And that really bothers me. But again, so, okay, guys, again, we're in agreement that when family is in need, we show up. Because I'm not going to turn that, I show up. But I think we all know that we need to have that time. And how many people are comfortable? I'm gonna ask you guys in chat room again. So like I said, we're just gonna talk to you guys tonight. How many of y'all in the chat room are okay with telling family that you want that space, or do you just do it and they kind of get the idea of what you're trying to say? How many of y'all are that way? Forward or under? What does that mean, Katisha? When you mean forward or under, what does that mean? And since we've been down here in Delaware, it's kind of interesting that where we are in Delaware, we're not off of, say, like 95, which is the main thoroughfare that most people, when they come through Delaware, they're on 95 and they go right through northern Delaware. I'm in southern Delaware. And so if you're coming to see me, you're coming to see me. But, it's interesting that we don't get too many visitors. I think in the 4 years, I have to let them know my family called me first. So you're the go-to person, huh, Tony? I think in the 4 years that we've been here, we've had my son twice. We had our sister-in-law. Oh, you've been cut off? You've been cut off, and just do it. All right. There we go. Let's see. The only problem with my phone is I don't get to see everybody's comments. So let's see if you guys can see me now. You should be able to. Let me bring this down a little bit. There we go. Yes, and there we go. All right. Now I can't see all the comments. I don't like using my phone. Hey, Toya's here. There we go. Let's see if everybody swings on over to here. All right, let's see. And I'll go back. I used to live near Newcastle. Okay. There we go. All right. No, I just switched over. Toya, because I was having problems on my computer. I believe this computer's on its last leg, so I'm trying to. I got to get a new computer. So if you guys can hear me now, come on over. Let me see. I don't think I can see everybody. Let's see what we got here. So I was asking, do you guys, when you want to distance yourself from family, do y'all just go ahead and make that move? Or do y'all just tell them? Because I just make the move. I'm not going to lie. I just go ahead and curve with the best of them. And they'll figure it out. If I don't show up to different events, or I'm not, and after a while, I don't get the invites, I don't get the mentions, I don't get contacted, and it's okay. It is what it is. I've kind of learned that sometimes family is in name only, and I know a lot of people don't like to hear that, and I know a lot of people get offended by that. But I got to be honest, and I think also when you're building a business, you have to realize that you can't get stuck on waiting for folks to do things. I just make the move eventually. Thank you, Keisha. I appreciate that. So we're along the same lines. I got you. Because I think, and some people like to say, because they don't like to have any mystery, some people like to just say right up front, like, this is what it is. And you just have to deal with it. So again, guys, make your way over here. I'm sorry that we had Unfortunately, haven't had to do that with family. It's mainly been friends. I got you. But so, Keisha, Toya, we were talking about with family is that when you find, or have you, you said you didn't, because we were talking about when you find family is starting to become toxic, what that looks like. And I think the reason why I wanted to have this conversation, again, you guys have to just keep posting. I don't know. I can't see. Okay, Michelle's here. Tony's here. Toya's here. Lakeisha's here. So the only reason why I don't like using my phone is because I don't get to see all the messages like my computer. But I don't know. Listen, if I was rolling in dough like that, I'd call up Amazon, send me a new computer. No. I've already upgraded the memory in this one some time ago. This is an older computer. So this is what it is. And I think the hardest part is over the years, and I think for me, and I know I've said this before to other folks, is that, I've had family members not even just inquire, like, what's up with me. And even when I've showed up, I've had family members act like they didn't know who I was. I was like, okay, listen, I don't lose sleep because I just think you have to know what works for you. And I think the family moniker, I just think I've seen so many people ruin themselves simply trying to hold a family together when it's not trying to be held together. Whether it's children, whether it's a husband, wife, cousins, nephews, uncles, I have just seen folks basically run themselves into the ground for family members. And when I try to say why, well, that was my brother. That was my sister. That was my mom's. That was my dad. And I go, I could be wrong. Listen, if I'm wrong, guys, talk to me. I just don't think a family member should be allowed to just destroy your life if they've destroyed theirs. Now, I'm not saying don't help. Let me say that. I'm not saying don't help family. And I'm not saying don't be there in an emergency. Emergency is an emergency. I just don't think just because we're family, I now should just rock out. Even with the crazy stuff, like, oh, when a family come in and they ready to go fight, I ain't running out and just throwing blows because you came in with an issue. I want some qualifying information first. What happened? Why are we going out to fight? Why are we going out to kick somebody behind? What happened? I don't want that. Oh, my cousin, my uncle said he got beef. We all got beef. No, we don't. My uncle might have beef. I don't. Because it may not be an issue worth fighting over. Michelle, I hear you folks try to save family members but run themselves ragged. Exactly. And I just felt tonight, guys, it was on my spirit tonight to talk about it. And I know a family member may see this. Thank you for that heart that popped up. You can always hit the heart and the like button. You can always do that. I see him. I know a family member may see this and be like, I don't like him anyway. It's okay. I used to joke about all the time. I like wearing the black hat. Somebody got to wear the black hat. It might as well be me. And the crazy part, thank you so much for the thumbs up, because here's what I've noticed about the person that wears the black hat. Most people leave you alone. I'm praying for my family. Let's see. My grandmother was the queen of letting go. Mine too. I just talked about that earlier. My grandmother was the same way. She cut you off and keep it moving. And actually would tell you she going to cut you off and keep it moving. Tony says, I'm praying for my family. I get frustrated just thinking about all of them. I pray for all of my children. I pray for their mothers. I pray for all of my family simply because I don't want anything to befall them to the negative. And I tell God to look after all of them. But even with my children, my oldest and the second oldest, the oldest has no reason to be upset. He just is. My second to oldest is still holding on to things that happened when we were younger, but we finally started talking when my grandmother passed, but it's okay. I'm here whenever they want to talk, but I'm not chasing them down to make them talk to me because I'm their father. Because at this age, in their 30s, it is on them because I've already apologized for what I did then. And I can't force a relationship now, nor would I try. But the door to my house is always open. And they will always have a place to lay their head, unless they bring in something illegal with them. Then you're not coming in my house. I don't care who you are. And that's the one thing from my house. I don't care who you are. You're not bringing death into my house. You're not bringing drugs into my house. I don't care how good we are. My husband going through the same thing with his son. It's a very difficult thing, and I may do a show on being a father with multiple children. You can't be the father that you want to be, and you just have to accept that, and you just have to try to be as friendly to the mothers as you can, and you want to try to be as open with the children as you can, and it's going to be what it's going to be. You offer love, and if it's not accepted, you deal with that, because there's a reason why children were supposed to be created in a certain way through a union, a solid union. But when they're not, you have to accept that. And there's a whole lot to it. But that's another show for another night. But the one thing I'm not going to do is continue. I stopped trying to him mending it because they have to want their father. You can try, but there's a point when you just make it clear. Like, I made it clear to all my children. So that was one thing I wasn't going to do, is leave it to chance. So I spoke to all of them directly and said, this is the situation. I apologize, and I'm here. Now, whether they take it from there, that's on them. I can't make them love me, nor can I make them want to be around me. I'm not going to do it, because that wouldn't have happened with me coming up when my father had multiple children. You couldn't make me do anything. But I'm going to offer love. I'm going to offer answers. If you have any questions, I'll answer it. I don't shy away from my past. That's the reason why I'm so transparent. Because if my children see this video, or anybody else sees this video, or any video that I do, I'm going to say the same thing in the video I'm going to tell you when I see you. And because of that, this is what it is. And I think we have to be able to have these type of conversations with each other. So when we turn to our families, we can have these conversations. That's the reason why I try to be as transparent as possible. Listen, guys, I meet with people often. I offer people to sit down and talk with me and bring their problems to the table. I can't ask somebody to bring their problems to the table and then be scared to discuss my own. Now, the one thing I do know is that a lot of people are scared to discuss their problems. That is one of the reasons why I come on to do my show 3 times a week, and I come on every morning, because I want you to feel comfortable that whatever you share with me, one, stays between you and I, but I want you to be able to come out of your shell to say, this is somebody I can talk to about whatever happened to me or whatever I've done. That is the reason why I share the way I share. And when you do it as a business, when you do it for a living, it's tough, because I don't turn my back on anyone. And yeah, sometimes I take calls that I really shouldn't take. Sometimes I work with folks who don't have near dime, but it's okay, because if somebody's in need, I'm going to help. And then I keep it moving. And that's why I mentioned this whole family thing, is because I think sometimes people take hard advantage of just the idea of family. And again, I can't see all the comments, just the ones that pop up. So if there is comments that I missed, I will definitely make sure I check them out when I go back into the chat room. I think I can actually, I don't know if I can actually look at the chat while I'm on here. I don't think I can. But let's see, real-time comments. Let me see if I can do both. That's the only reason why I don't like using my phone. But as I told you, as I stack up my paper and my prayers get answered, I will get a new system that will allow me to do more of the virtual stuff that I do. When I do the one-on-one stuff, my computer is somewhat fine. But this live stuff, this hoopty got like 3 wheels, and I be 3-wheeling it. But it is what it is. Well, we got about 8 minutes, guys. So as we get closer to the end, I want to tell you this. All you guys that are in my Bible study group, or in the Bible study group, it's not mine, in the Bible study group, on Saturday the 29th, we're going to have a conference with about mental health with the other pastors. If you are interested in joining the Bible study group, make sure you reach out to me. I will gladly send you an invite to come join. And if you want to invite anyone to come here to join us so they can see the show, because this is the only place that they can see Unapologetically Keith. Like I said, I've had a couple people say, why don't you put it back on your public page so more people can see it? What they do not know is that more people are seeing it inside the group, because Facebook will hold up on people seeing it, and then they want to charge you to be able to allow people to see it. I'm not paying Mark Zuckerberg any more money than he's already getting. He's worth $26 billion. He don't need my dollars. Also, by moving folks to the group, it allows me to speak to people who really want to rock with me directly. I'm not worried about the masses. I don't know if I got 2,000, 25, I don't know how many friends I got. I don't pay attention. But every day I put out, if you want to see me, come over here. And if they come, if you guys are here, this is who I'm speaking to. You guys that are here. That's all that matters to me. And I'm in a business cohort, and I'm learning so much. And it's funny, it's a funny thing with information. It can be pleasurable, and it can be very sad. Pleasurable because anytime you learn something new, you're like, yes, now you can go out and do some things. The sad part of learning new information is that you go, why did it take me 52 years to learn this now? And then you have to catch yourself and go, don't do that, Keith. So listen, I counsel myself. And the reason why you have to catch yourself is that's the slope that starts to slide into depression. Believe that. When you start looking behind you and you start saying, my God, how come it didn't happen till here? And you start looking backwards for the wrong reasons. That slope starts to tilt like this. And before you know it, shwoo, slide right down into a dark place. So I look back and go, okay. And then I talk to myself. And let me tell you where I got that from. I got it from the Bible. When Jesus said to God, take this chalice, depending on what version of the Bible, take this cup away from me. The very next thing he said, but if this is thy will, then I'll do it. Meaning, could you take this away from me? I don't want to do this. But then when God didn't answer him, he said, but okay, if this is what you want me to do, I'm going to do it. So he was not going to give in to the negative part that came up. We are where we're supposed to be. See, things like that is what I say to myself too, Michelle. And one of the things that I found to be true, and one of the things that I do, is when I find myself thinking anything negative about what I'm doing or where I'm at or anything about myself, I quickly look around my office for something to remind me of the positive. Like right now, I'm looking up on the wall, and I got 2 submissions that I have to write for 2 books that are coming out next year. One is due October 31st, 5,000 words. The other one is due December 15th, 5,000 words. And I look over there and say, you ain't got time to be sitting and thinking negative. You got 2 stories to write for 2 books that you're going to be in, which means I'm going to be in 2 published works going into 2021. Another thing I got on my wall is, Keith, what is your one thing? And it says, I am a crisis specialist. Keith, what are you working on today that's connected to your one thing? That's this right here. I show up every day, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, not just for me, but for you guys. More so you guys, because I enjoy talking to you. I'm learning so much from you guys, and y'all are making me show up because I know you're going to be here. Let's see. Yep, I have a lot of positive quotes on all. There we go, Tony. And Toya says, I'm so hard on myself. I need to remember that constantly. Yes, same thing with bowling, Toya. You're lucky it's COVID, because I saw you was getting a little bit better, but you ain't ready yet. You ain't ready yet. You ain't ready. You good. You getting there, but you ain't ready yet. And I was on a run. COVID just messed me up. I had won 3 straight tournaments. Well, I had won 1, came in second, came in third. I was in 3 tournaments. I had cash in all 3. I was on a good 2020. And COVID just threw a monkey wrench in everything. But listen, I'm happy to be alive, and I'm here to fight for those that are still alive with me, because we have 160,000 people that are no longer here. I thought that'd get you, Toya. But yeah, and here's another I have right on my wall too, reminders. Who are you? I am Keith K.L. Belvin, crisis specialist. What do I do? I counsel those who need assistance. Yeah, I bowl for money. Toya can tell you. I got 3 crowns in there, right, Toya? Toya got 1. Me and Toya won 1 year together. She was the queen, I was the king. I got 3 crowns. I lost my 4th one. So here's another reminder. Who are you? I am Keith K.L. Belvin, Crisis Specialist. What do you do? I counsel those who need assistance. Who do you do it for? Women and men, mostly women, who need assistance in dealing with difficult situations. I work with singles, couples, and children. Why do I do it? This is my ministry. I feel the Lord saved me to give something back to those in need. That's what's on my wall to remind me. That's what I do as family to bring each other together. Toya said, yes. Oh, you got 3 too? Uh-oh. I got to come out of retirement then to get that 4th one. Toya's a 3-time queen, and I'm a 3-time king. That's it. I got to come out of retirement. Especially when this COVID thing is over. When this COVID thing is over, I'm coming back out to bowl. But me and Tip was bowling pretty good, and all of a sudden this COVID thing came, so we had to hang it up. And we just talked about it. She was actually asking, you think about going back and bowling the league? We want to, but this is just so dangerous. And then the fact that we have KL with us, and anytime I got that type of mental doubt, there's no way I could really be myself and have fun and really bowl competitively if I'm worried about what I touch, what I do, who's around me, where my daughter. It's hard enough trying to make sure I got an eye on my daughter at all time anyway. But now I got to worry about what she touching, who breathing on. Oh, no. Listen, I'm just going to stay in and write. But we got a minute left. I want to ask you guys, and I want to say this before I go. Please post any subjects that you would like me to cover. Again, I want to say thank you for hanging out with me. In the group, make sure you post any subjects that you want me to consider. Michelle gave me one. I think Tony gave me one. But please post any subjects that you're interested in having me cover. Can't wait. Ali's just over back. Listen. I saw that, Toya. I saw that they opened up in New York. I can't because I just see how stupid people are with just refusing to wear masks. And I think some people are going to push the envelope simply because they know bowling alleys are not going to be able to monitor. It's just, and some bowling alleys are too old, and I don't think they're going to spend the money for HVACs. I'm just not taking a chance. I'm praying for all you guys up there because I know a lot of you want to get back to bowling. It's just not worth it for me. And I love to bowl. You know that. It's just not worth it. I will sit here in this house and bunker down, and I will keep reading, and I will keep doing the things I do. I'm up to like 12 books now or something I've been reading, and I got to get some writing in. But I want to say this, guys, before I jump off. Please put any subjects that you want me to cover inside the chat room. Also, I'm working on some email courses where for a smaller price, I'm not sure what I'm going to charge, but it's going to actually be where once you sign up, you'll get an email once a week, and it'll be some coursework on some things I'm discussing. I'm working on it now. Yeah, they're open in Virginia too. They're open in a lot of places, Tracy, and it's scary. It's scary. They're open here in Delaware as well. I believe they're open in Maryland. I believe it's open in 33 states. I think it's 17, excuse me. I think it's 17 that's not open right now, but I think it's 33 or 39. I'm not sure. And because of the big bowling organization I'm a part of, I get all the emails of when they're thinking about restarting the big organization. I'm not. Listen, I see it. I'm not really bothering with it. But again, I want to thank all of you. Please share. Please share my information out with, and I'll give it to you right now. I think I can throw it in the chat room here. And remember, I am here to help those that are in need. If they need to set up private sessions with me, I'm working mostly with women right now. I'm working with mostly women, but I work with men who need me. But I have found that it is the women that lead the men to, there we go. Okay. There we go. And that's my information there, bit.ly/Coach Keith. You go, you simply sign up, and you can make an appointment to see me. A discovery session is free. And once you make a discovery session, we'll set up and we'll sit down and try to figure out how I can be of service to you. Some people want monthly coaching. Some people want weekly. Some people want bi-weekly. Whatever works for you and whatever you feel that you can afford. And we'll set some things up because if you need me to hold you accountable, I'll do that too. I am accountability brother for a couple people. They literally pay me to hold them accountable, and that's what I do. And this is what I do. And I'm working on building my practice here in Delaware. I still have some foundational work to do, and working on my license and everything. I still have my teaching license. I'm a certified teacher in New York and Delaware. I'm a licensed investigator. And so I'm working on getting my consulting business is official down here. Now it's just getting my counseling practice up and running. But my consulting business is in work. I am here at the detention center, and so I'm working and building on that. So I'm trying to put a lot into the works, but at the same time, I take the time to get myself mentally strong. That's what I do on the weekend. I take the time just to clear my head. But I want to say thank you to all of you for taking the time. I'll go back into the chat room and look at all the remarks, because again, on the phone, I can't. I want to put a prayer request in to pray for my family, since we're on the topic, and that God will heal the land, especially for the COVID. No problem. Thank you. We will definitely do that. Hey, Lynn. Good to see you, Lynn. So we're definitely going to put that prayer in. Actually, Tony, I'm going to put that in the Bible study group. So we can, let me write that down. And so Tony's family. And healing the land, of course. I'll put that in the Bible study group so we can have all the members pray. As soon as I get off, I will definitely take care of that. And anybody that's interested in joining the Bible study group, just reach out. I will gladly send you an invite. But again, I put my information in the chat room. Please make sure, I think I just pinned it so you can see it. But please make sure you pass that along. Is that the private counseling is to give folks an opportunity to have somebody to talk to and to share whatever's going on so we can fix whatever they're dealing with. This is what I do. I literally ask people to bring their trash to my table so I can help them sift through it, so we can try to figure out how to help them. So I want to say to you guys, thank you so much. Not sure what we're going to discuss. I think forgiveness. I'm talking about forgiveness. Okay. There we go, Lynn. Actually, we were on earlier, Lynn, so you got to go back and watch some of it. I had to actually stop. There's another part that I had to stop from my computer. I think I might just come on from my phone. The only problem with from my phone is I don't think I can see all of the comments, so I have to go back in. No doubt, Tony, I got you. I have to go back in and look at all your comments, but I may use my phone because we don't have all the interruption that we had from my computer until I can buy a brand new computer. And so, like I said, I'm definitely working on that. That's one of my next major purchases. So we'll see how that goes. But again, guys, I want to say good night. I want to say thank you. I appreciate all of you guys who show up. If anybody else wants to join the group, just have them join. I'll admit them so they can see and hang out with us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I will see you guys on Wednesday and August 29th. Saturday, 5:30 in the Bible study group. I'm going to have a group of pastors get together so we can talk about mental health in the church and stuff like that. So that's another thing that we're doing over in the Bible study group. So again, thank you. Thank you. Good night, everybody. I will see you on Wednesday. Thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate you. Love you guys.